running these periodically as we see updates and changes as things progress. The QR codes on the screen have a lot of great information on products, programs, and this will be made available to you after the training today. So Fujitsu will be transitioning to a new refrigerant, a new A2L refrigerant, like everybody else has to. Fujitsu has chosen R32 as their refrigerant of choice for a variety of reasons. So let's review why. But first, effective, and this is the why, effective January 1st, 2025, directed and required by the EPA and DOE, manufacturers may not use a refrigerant with a global warming potential or GWP of over 700. As you can see here, R410A is quite a bit above that at 2088. You're going to go see two refrigerants. I think you're aware of that by now. Both R32 and R454B will be used by manufacturers. So why did Fujitsu choose R32? First of all, widely used globally since 2012. So it's a proven technology that's been around for quite a while. It is a single component refrigerant. It improves efficiencies and capacities. Some units are actually a little smaller. R32 is readily available. The working pressures are similar to R410A, and Fujitsu has been using R32 already in Europe since 2018, so it's been around quite a while. This shows you just a shot of a unit at a hotel in Milan, Italy, and you can see the date code there of 2021, but they've been using it since 2018. So it's a known technology. Fujitsu already has manufacturing experience, so that's already done. It's shipping and handling; they've already have experience there. It is proven performance. It is not a blend. It's very easy to handle, and it can be since it's not a blend, it can be charged in liquid and gas phases both. And working pressures are similar to what you're used to with R410A. Here, application guides. Again, this will be made available to you. It is the R32 facts brochure, some good information on there of why R32 was chosen. Also, it has the ASHRAE 15, 15.2, and ASHRAE 34, which are guidelines on A2L standards. You can grab a picture now, or again, these will be provided to you. There are labeling requirements when utilizing A2L refrigerants because they are considered mildly flammable, or have a low flammability rate. The labels must be clearly identified on the equipment, and we'll show you a few other snapshots here of what it looks like. So what should you really fear? We've been doing a lot of trainings on A2Ls and asking people if they think there's propane. Fewer and fewer think that, but there is still some of that misconception out there, and they are not. These are R32 and R454B is a blend of R32 and 1234YF, so there is no R290 or propane in this. And what it really means is it has a low flammability level. So if it happens to hit the low flammability level or LFL, it could catch fire with a direct flame. So it's got to have a high enough concentration and it has to have a direct flame. That said, it doesn't explode. The definition of an A2L has a flame spread of equal to or less than 10 centimeters per second. That's like 4 inches a second or 0.2 miles per hour. So you certainly can outwalk this. And typically, when it drops below the low flammability level, it'll put itself out. This is just an extra precaution in case it's in a furnace and catches fire and might just happen to catch wiring or insulation on fire. But it is not dangerous, but it will be clearly identified with labels. You can see the front of the unit will be clearly identified on the Fujitsu Air Stage model with R32 in the front and on the side near your service valves. Also, as an added benefit for labeling, it allows for documenting on here. So it has the factory refrigerant charge, and you can add the additional amount that you field charged it and add the totals in. So this way, it's clearly identify how much refrigerant that particular system has in it. Just use a ballpoint pen to put it on there. Sharpies probably won't last. Ballpoints should last a little bit longer. So A2L mitigation requires LDS or leak detection systems. Here's the good news. It's only when it's over 4.1 pounds of refrigerant based on ASHRAE 15.2. So what does that mean? Most single zones won't require or come with a sensor. That said, multi-zones, larger indoor units such as slim duct, medium static duct, coils, air handlers, all those will come with the refrigerant sensors in them, so they'll be ready to go. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through this. So let's talk about as we transition the nomenclature, because it's going to change a little bit. We're used to having L in all of the model numbers. You're all used to AOU for outdoor units. The L was the indicator for R410A. This is what the new nomenclature is going to look for. K will identify that it has R32 in it. We also have some additional changes. You can see the L highlighted on the left where it had been U. U is for 230 volt. As we have the 115 volts coming in, that letter instead of a U will be an L. And then we have other newer models for newer products. On the right, you can see the P for the XLTH Plus. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's pretty exciting. Also, a new black head unit. So one will have the XLTH Plus will have a option of a black indoor wall hung head if you want. Also, some loose coil matches. We're going to be also adding some neat stuff where you're going to be able to match to a case coil and some other changes. But you will see a change in the nomenclature. So, has anyone heard of Procore? Might be the best kept secret. This is the third generation and upgrade in copper that is used in Fujitsu equipment. It has advanced corrosion protection. So through accelerated corrosion testing, it has proven to be more resilient and stronger than standard copper and oxygen-free copper. You can see the little cutaway there that shows you how effective it is in accelerated corrosion testing. I think, guys, we found a product that really can withstand VOCs and other gases out there that cause problem with evaporator coils, indoor coils. So let's look at the single zone wall mount units, or RAC. So these are the one-to-one wall mounts. We got some neat stuff coming here. So this is the layout here. First of all, they all have names. You can see right under the picture of the units, they all have names now. They have the Orion XLTH Plus and XLTH, Altair 700, Altair 500, and Altair 300. These are all based on constellation names. When I was at the distributor meeting, they reviewed it. They had really good reasons for all the names. I don't remember them all, but suffice it to say, we put names instead of just model numbers. Makes it easier to understand what products are in each of them. Also, we've added 2 additional wall tiers. So now we have a full complement of 5 different series. You have the competitive Altair 300. You have the in-between 500, Altair 500 and 700, and then you have the Orion series, which is the XLTH and XLTH Plus. That XLTH Plus is going to be a game changer and a leader in the industry. You may not sell them all the time because, hey, they might even be too much heat, but these are 100% capacity at minus 15 degrees. I don't know if you guys are aware of the cold climate heat pump challenge. They wanted 100% at 5 degrees, plus 5 degrees. These bad boys can do 100% at minus 15 and 90% capacity at minus 20. So pretty darn good. As you look down the side there, on the left side, Wi-Fi. You will now have Wi-Fi built in on the Altair 700 and both levels of the Orion series. Also, new remote controllers in all of them. It also all these products also have expanded operating temperature ranges, so pretty darn good. On the XLTH Plus here in the top right, you see that black unit. They will have an optional. It's not going to be available right away. However, if somebody chooses to have something different or has darker walls, they may want to choose this the black indoor head. It looks pretty cool. Also, expanded offerings, and we'll go into both of these. New changes to the remote controllers and also the built-in Wi-Fi we just kind of touched on. First of all, the remotes have been improved, so you can see kind of the before and after, the current and after. You got green to red, red to green there. The key here is they're upgraded and user friendly. They're backlit button lights, so it's easier to see. They're going to be the backlit are on all but the Altair 700 and 300. So they're going to be on the Orions and the Altair 500 is where you're going to see those. So not all series, so be aware of that, but it's going to make it much easier to see in areas that aren't well lit in homes. So much improved there. We've been asking for that for a while, and it's just going to make it more user friendly. Also, we've asked for this, and it's come back again. Wi-Fi is standard for all but the two lower end units, the Altair 500 and 300. So your Orions, both series, as well as your Altair 700, will now have built-in Wi-Fi. That said, for the 500 and 300, it is easily convertible in a couple minutes with a plug-in module. So makes it very easy. You got to mute somebody, getting feedback. As far as the one-to-one non-wall mount, so this is everything else, or pack. This is now going to be called the Centauri series. So this is the single zones that goes to everything but the high wall heads. So these are going to be for your mid-static ducts, your regular, your multi-position air handlers, one-to-one. You're seeing in there also, we are going to have case coil matches. So some pretty neat stuff here. A couple things I want to point out. The multi-position air handlers, you can see before they were limited. We will now have them all the way down to 12,000 BTUs. So this is going to be way more usable for smaller applications. You can see the dots in there. It'll come in 12,000 BTUs, 18, 24, 30, 36, and 48,000 BTUs. The case coils, this will be neat also, but this is in the future. We'll show you when those are going to likely be released in Q3. But you will now have the ability to have a loose coil match, put a case coil on somebody's existing furnace, and match that to the units you see there, the Centauri outdoor units, which are the LUAS ones and the LUAH ones. So, but you can see the full complement with mid-static ducted case coils, cassettes, both large and small, as well as ceiling suspended. So some pretty neat stuff coming there. One thing to be said, we said on the high wall single zones, you don't need sensors, mitigation sensors for refrigerant, but you do on these products. So these will come with it. You can see, and this is for safety, for anything non-high wall. Also, a couple good things. These can actually link to ventilation equipment or alarms, so it adds to the safety. And you can see a couple examples there with the slim duct or medium static duct, as well as a coil that would be inside of an air handler. And you can see where the sensors are mounted, factory mounted. All right, so let's talk about multi-zone residential systems now, and they are going to be called the Aquila series. Again, another constellation. Again, a full offering. Good thing is the wall mounts here use the same heads as the Altair 500. So now we're going to have some redundancy. We're not going to have different heads for multi-zones as opposed to our standard one-to-ones. So that consolidates things, makes it a little easier. So you're going to have wall mounts. You're going to have slim and mid-static ducted. Multi-position air handlers for multi-zone systems. Guys, we've been asking for this for quite a while. the Distributor Advisory Council for Fujitsu, and they finally bringing this in, so you won't have to go all the way to a J series to do a multi-zone with multi-position air handlers. So we'll be able to do that now, and they will come in 12,000 BTU, 18,000, and 24,000 BTU capacities. So if you think about this, say you're changing out a 2-ton air handler. Somebody's got a 2-ton system in their home and they got a bonus room that they've never been able to properly condition. You can now put that 2-ton air handler with an H series here with the Aquila, and now you can run a separate wall mount to that garage, the room above the bonus room above the garage with a multi-position air handler if it happens to be in a horizontal position. So this is an improvement we've been asking for a while. Also, case coils. We will have in the future the ability to multi-zone with a furnace with a case coil and then have additional heads throughout the house. Also, you have cassettes, floor mounts, and ceiling mounts there. So nice improvements, pretty exciting stuff coming. As far as the warranty on the wall mounts, the pack, so that your other one-to-ones and the multi-zones, the warranty remains the same. You have a 7-year compressor, 5-year parts out of the box. If you register it, which you should be, it now is 10 and 10, 10-year compressor, 10-year parts. There is also a new upgrade for commercial installations. If you are an elite dealer, and we'll go over that in a little more detail here, if you're an elite dealer, you can now get 10 and 10 for a commercial application. Better than that, for residential, for elite dealers, you now can get a 12 and 12 warranty when registered within 60 days of installation. So pretty good stuff. As far as the 2-wire remote controllers, the 2-wire controllers, they're going to remain the same. So what you're used to, you still have, so it makes it pretty easy. We have the RSRY simple controller. This is a basic price point control with a backlit screen and can handle up to 16 indoor units. We have the more advanced Z5 wired remote control, better functionality, and we can use it for startup commissioning. It is also backlit for ease of visualizing and seeing, lead lag operation, and it can also handle up to 16 indoor units. This one's a much more powerful control over the RSRY. And then we have the newer, it's been out a couple years, but a much more modern Kagami controller, and in its looks and its ability. Again, it is up to 16 indoor units as well. It is 2-wire non-polar. A lot of premium features here and Bluetooth connections set up. So let's talk about the roadmap. So how are we going to roll out into R32 and roll up R410A? What's that timing look like? So you can see right here on, first of all, the law requires that all existing R410A either be built and or in America. So if it's coming over on a boat, it's got to be on American soil by 12/31/2024. So by the end of this year, so about 6 weeks away from now, it's got to be here. We have product, and we'll give you what we did in order to make sure we have adequate amount of product. We will be allowed to sell R410A through the entire year of 2025. Remember that installation ban goes into effect on January 1st, 2026. You also, as we roll in product, and you're probably going to see the R32 start to arrive the end of Q1, beginning of Q2. So you'll start to see those being introduced. Just so you know, we have already placed our first container loads. So we have year-round containers that are going to be rolling in to ensure we have product availability. That initial R32 order has already been placed, and we're expecting that sometime, likely in March, give or take a little bit of time there. So what do we do regarding the buy-up of R410A? How are we going to make sure we have enough equipment? Well, we utilize this roadmap that was provided by Fujitsu. You can see the orange there with the S. That indicates when they feel that when they know the units are going to be in America and available. So what we of the new R32. So what we did is we took a look at our monthly usage on each SKU. So one SKU by one SKU, what our monthly usage was, and we extended past the end of that date. So you can see that first one, the good entry level heat pump. We saw that it was going to be available sometime in Q4. What we did is we took that all the way to end of Q4 and added 6 additional weeks of inventory, just in case as safety stock, just in the event of any kind of delays. So on that particular product, based on that the velocity when we ordered it, because we had to place our last orders in June, that should take us through the middle of Q2 with the amount of product. So we will have R410A rolling into 2015 for you all to sell before the 32 arrives. So here's a little more detailed roadmap. This is for the wall mount one-to-one, so wall mount series, and you can see what replaces what, and you can see the new Orion XLTH Plus. That does not have an equal. That's the one that can go all the way to 100% at minus 15 degrees. Pretty neat stuff. You can see the gray there. All that product's going to supposedly be available in Q1. So I'm thinking about the end of Q1. And that's really the Orion XLTH and TH Plus, the Altair 700. So that's equal to the LMAS1 currently. That'll be available. And the Altair 500 and 300, also with the exception of the 230 volt Altair 300. You can see that KNAS1 looks like it's going to be more towards Q3. Also, you can see some of what's being phased out there in the kind of that tan looking color. But most of it will be the end of Q1 or sometime Q1, Q2 with the 230 volt Altair 300 being in Q3. Now let's take a look at the Centauri. So this is the one-to-one non-wall mount units, and again, most of it in Q1 or Q2 is with that greenish color for the Centauri, with the exception of the multi-position air handlers. They're going to be likely pushed into Q2, and you can see there 12,000 BTUs through 4-ton or 48,000 BTUs. The only other thing will be the Centauri XLTH. That likely 2.5 through 4-ton will be introduced in Q3. And lastly, the multi-zones. Most, again, Q1 and Q2 for wall mounts, slim duct, cassette, medium static ducted. Again, you can see the multi-position air handlers, 12,000, 18,000, and 24,000 BTUs. That will be Q2 when we start to see those. Everything else pretty much, though, is going to be available coming in Q1-ish, late Q1, early Q2. This is the full offering. It's kind of a bit of an eye chart. You guys probably can't see it, pretty small writing, but this is available for your review, and our branches should be able to get that to you. That was introduced and were emailed out as the branch guides, so we can provide you with these as well. I'd be remiss if I didn't touch on the Elite Contractor Program. This is pretty dynamic, and there have been some recent changes. Plenty of contractor benefits with additional support, training programs, and promotions to improve your experience. This kind of breaks it out for you a little bit. You're going to have an access to a marketing dashboard. By the way, they're in beta testing now, Fujitsu is, and they're coming out with a new portal that actually should be a lot easier to manage, whether you're registering warranties, looking up parts, anything you typically do should be much better in the near future here. But see, these are some of the benefits as an elite dealer. VIP tech support status. Well, you already get that with APR. I think we have one of the best TSA groups out there today. 1 year unit replacement, 90-day DOA labor policy, and the extra 2-year warranty with registered H and J series to take it to 12 and 12. You get loyalty rewards, and we'll talk about the change there. Priority rankings on the contractor locator, leads via email or text, free trainings, and for the new elite level, it's more than just one person per employer per year. Special promotions, and at the bottom there you see that extended warranty for elite dealers when registering a J or H series in a light commercial application that takes it all the way to 10 and 10 instead of 7 and 5. Here are the three levels, and this happened last year. But it makes it easier to get involved for smaller companies that don't do quite as much ductless. You can become an air stage partner, elite partner at 12 points. You can go to the standard elite level, which we've had forever, with 20 points. And then you have now the new elite plus level at 100 points. Here are the differentiations between what you get at the different levels. Two of them really to point out, and again, we can provide this with you. And if you're not familiar with the LEAP program, our OSRs, any of our APR employees can review this with you. But some of the big changes is when you see the loyalty rewards, right now for the standard elite, you get $6 per ton for registered product. When you hit Elite Plus, that gets doubled. That is now $12 per ton. That's real money. And also the FTA Fujitsu Training Academy in-person training. As a standard elite, you get one free per year. As an elite plus, you get four per year. And that's whether it's in New Jersey at Fujitsu's FTA, or whether you're in our Altoona training center that APR has, that is our APR Fujitsu Training Academy out there. And our TSAs have the ability to give you the same certifications as if you went to New Jersey. And it's pretty easy to get to. Again, quick warranty review, 7-year, 5-year out of the box, 10 and 10 when registered. And additional, if you are an elite dealer, you now get the 10 and 10 for commercial applications, and I'll show you a little more in the next slide here. And ultimately 12 and 12 for elite dealers when you register the product within 60 days. This shows you the new warranty for commercial applications. So you can see there retail stores, storefronts, office spaces, schools, churches, rectories, bars, restaurants, rental homes and condos and multifamily housing. Instead of the traditional 7-year and 5-year, you now, as an elite dealer with registration, you can get 10 and 10. By the way, Fujitsu is the only one to do that. So this gives you a great selling opportunity, a great selling advantage over the competition. How are points awarded? Again, this is new. We've been asking for this with the Distributor Advisory Council for Fujitsu. Now your single zones and multi-zones are differentiated. You still get your 1 point for single zones. However, now you get 2 points for multi-zones. 2 points for J series and 4 points for V series. All of you, if you're not aware of J or V series air stage, let us know. We'll come talk to you about it. But great opportunities there as well. Wanted to give you a little idea of what we're doing internally. We have developed a new kind of software for internal transition, so we know where we are at all times. We're calling it our equipment transition tool. All of our branches have it. This is a live active report that at any time we can click on and see how many we have left of the old. You can see on the left. And as we transition to the new, at all times we will be able to see how many of the old ones are available. Do we have any still on purchase order left to come in? And have we started to receive any of the new stuff, the new R32? How many we have available and how many we have on PO? Obviously, I did this snapshot before we actually placed our first PO, but there are R32 models on order. The good thing on this one is you can see the ASUH 9 LPAS down here in the good level. We have 528 units available there. So we know we're really good. We have no issues when you call for a quote. What if we're down to 5? We need to be able to identify that and tell you, hey, I'll give you your quote here, but we only have 5, so I can't guarantee they're going to be here when you want to order them. This gives you the option of either ordering it right away or quoting both the 410A and the and the R32 model in the event that it is sold out by the time the consumer decides to pull the trigger and place the order. Did want to give you a little update, regulatory update. This is something new that just has happened over the last 2 weeks. But our federal government has changed again, and this is for central air conditioning and air source heat pumps. So to switch gears a little bit, deducted 25C federal tax credits will be changing effective January 1st, 2025. What's not changed on the left there, the program currently will still run through 2032. It is still $2,000 for qualifying heat pumps. It is still $600 for furnaces and $600 for air conditioners, as well as the furnaces will remain at 97% to qualify. What is changing? Here's the big one. If you recall, in heat pumps, there was a northern climate requirement and a southern requirement. That is gone. The north and south requirements are gone. They are now have switched to a path A and a path B. If you any product that achieves either one of those is installable and qualifies for the 25C $2,000 in the north or south. So they've eliminated the north and south, but you can see you have two paths. Both require 16 SEER 2. You can see path A for EER2 is 9.8, a little lower, and it's 11 for path B. However, it flip-flops, and you have a higher requirement for path A for HSPF2, the heating side at 8.5, but it's only 8 for path B, 8 HSPF2. And then you can see your capacity ratios switch up a little bit. So adds a little more complexity, makes it a little harder. So I think variable speed is going to really be about the only way we're going to be able to achieve either of these. But the key is January 1st, it changes to this. You still have the balance of the year to utilize the old requirements, but just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that, and we'll have more information on regulatory coming up. So, with all that said, any questions? Susie?
I don't see anything in the chat, but if anyone wants to jump in with any questions verbally, you can do so now.
All right. We don't have anything. Well, thank you all. I appreciate your time. We wanted to make this short and sweet and get you the information. And Susie, I think we'll make these, change these into a PDF and make these available for folks.
Yes, we'll have this available. We can send out to everyone, and we recorded this as well, so we can send the recording out too.
Excellent. Thank you all. Appreciate your business. APR folks, appreciate your hard work as well. And thank you. And we'll revisit this likely in a month or so and give you a brief update on anything that's changed. Thank you all.
Thanks very much.
Thanks all.